People who like her really like her.
Yeah. Well, I think her most famous story is called A Good Man is Hard to Find, and it's about a guy who escapes prison, and he's known as the misfit, who winds up taking out a whole family, and it's very dark and it's very cold.
My kids love that story.
Yeah?
I read it to them all the time.
Well,
I shouldn't say all the time. I've read it to them about 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
You know that bit where she says, I won't dance with him. He looks like a pig, or something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm getting that wrong.
Well,
or was it the mother in the gas station who said that? I forget. But
it might be. I know. Well, I don't know.
Either way, my kids, my wife's like, should we really be reading this? I'm like, I don't know, but we're going to.
Well, the misfit doesn't fit in, and I think in many ways
Yes.
O'Connor was writing about herself that she didn't fit in, because when she was up at Iowa, she's a woman from the South who's a devout Catholic, and she was surrounded by a lot of atheists up there, mostly men and Northerners. And then once she got really sick, she was in New York City for a little bit, came back down to Georgia, and was so smart, so intellectually rigorous, and wanted other artists to talk to. And she had her mom and other people who really didn't understand her work and said, can't you just write stories a lot of people would enjoy? Write another Gone with the Wind. So everywhere she went, she struggled to fit in. But the one place she fit in was in her Catholic faith. And she understood the cross, and she was dying of lupus, and she understood suffering, and she loved Aquinas, and she loved Augustine too. And I think she felt like her life made sense against the backdrop of the Paschal Mystery, and she could be a good artist, and she could love her God and do her best, even though her artwork was scandalous and turned a lot of people off, including some Catholics. So like, this doesn't make any sense. It's too dark. It's too violent.
Yeah, I think that's why people like her. People who feel like misfits really love other misfits who are able to maybe articulate their experience.
Yes.
It's like why young disenfranchised men get super pumped about some metal band or something and almost worship them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not a metal band, but there's an artist his name's Petey. I've seen him a couple times live, and it's mostly men who go see him, and he resonates with them because he's speaking of human experience of trying to be macho, but there's a part of me that I kind of want to be tender. Totally. And it's funny, but they're like crying out, don't tell the boys. Yeah, it's wild.
Well, who's that band we used to talk about? The two fellas.
21 Pilots?
Yes. Are they still going?
Yeah, they're actually coming on tour in the fall. Okay. So,
that would be another example. Yes. They seem to be able to articulate what we feel but can't say.
Correct. I mean, that's the job of an artist.
When someone does that, you love them.
Right. That's the job of an artist, to name what your experience is, and then to put it on display so that you can feel it more deeply and understand it more profoundly, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard someone say that good fiction makes us feel less alone.
Oh, yeah.
Or something like that. I'm sure that's not the primary purpose, but that is what you get when you read good fiction sometimes.
Yeah, it takes you into the heart of humanity. It ought to anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like her. Sometimes you read people, or at least I do, because I want to be the kind of person who likes this particular author because they seem super sophisticated and I'd like to be like that. And then sometimes you read something and you go, oh, I don't even have to pretend. This is beautiful.
Yeah. She knew that she was different. She knew that she was smart. She knew that she was good. And she was also trying things that hadn't been tried before. And I think in my own priesthood that resonates. Being vicar for evangelization, there never was one before. So it kind of got to be a pioneer in this way and trust your artistic sense, that your artistic intuition, that what I'm being called to do here, even though people, that's not going to work, or this is a weird way of doing things, or we haven't seen this before. It could actually, and you to hold your own and move through with that, despite what people may say it's a lot of fun, and it's also challenging. Maybe you've had that with your podcast, or trying something different, or moving to Steubenville. You could go somewhere else, man. You could go to LA, or you could go to Chicago, you could go to New York. Why the heck are you going to Steubenville? But here you are, and it's making a difference, and you're trusting the call that comes, and things are coming out of it. Yeah. That's fun because you don't know how it's going to turn out, and that's exciting. Yeah, I think.
Well, I also think there's a lot of people in the church who feel like they don't fit in. And it feels like in the church that there are these unnecessarily rigid categories that people feel they have to fit into to be a quote-unquote good Catholic.
Right.
And so having people like her break the mold really attracts people who really want to love Jesus Christ. but they feel as if people are laying heavy burdens upon their shoulders that they don't need to be laying on their. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.